It's Friday, folks, and what that means is classic tabletop RPG time, and we're getting back into our top secret first edition series. I'm not going to keep this one too long today. Hey, if you don't know where you just stopped by, you just clicking through or scrolling through stuff, and you're like, hey, who is this? My name is Servant, and the place where you stopped is RPG Elite. It's the place where I focus on putting the RP back in RPG, and the way that I do that is by giving you tools, tips, tutorials, and real talk about the tabletop RPG space and culture. We got a tutorial today because we're breaking down a classic from back in 1980, top secret first edition. And we've got a whole series of videos on all of the different mechanics of this classic tabletop RPG. So I'm not gonna waste a whole lot of time here. Just want to turn your attention to down below in the description. Got some links down there. The first one being the LEET Squad. If you want to be a part of the LEET Squad, my monthly giveaway where I give away something, and I'm giving away more things all of the time. And sometimes you just never know. I might throw in a little extra in there as well. Then that'll be the first link that you see down in the description below. And of course, there'll be some other things down there as well. Some tools and things maybe for your tabletop RPG session. All right, today we are going to get into top secret first edition, and we're going to be talking about, come on now, what you know about that? You don't know nothing about that. What you know about that? Let's get into it, y'all. And on the other side, I've got the question of the vid. Let's roll them. There are several ways a secret agent can be injured in Top Secret 1E. It's a dangerous world out there, y'all. And the circles and environments that the PC agents will encounter, they have to be navigated with care and precision. Otherwise, you just might get killed. Another way an agent can be injured is through the use of poisons. And this is during combat as well. So this can happen in hand-to-hand, or projectile, or even a gas attack, which we talked about in the last video. And these things are dangerous because once poison enters your system, sometimes it's a wrap. Now, Top Secret has an interesting way of handling this. So let's dive right in and take a look at it. Poisons have a particular dosage that is used, and this will determine how effective it is once it's administered. Certain poisons will have an effect on particular traits. This effect is reflected by rolling percentile dice and subtracting that percentage from the trait total. So let me give you an example of what that looks like. Let's say Sarah, let's pull her up here. All right, so we're gonna be looking at her coordination. And she has a coordination of 100, and that's the reason why I did it, because it'd just be a lot simpler. So she has a coordination of 100, and now we roll percentile dice to see how much of her coordination is affected. So you just roll this. Wow, 56% is affected, which means she has 44% of her coordination left. And that's not a good look, y'all. Not a good look at all. So when this happens, your secondary traits will have to be recalculated. And many times that's going to include your life level. So if I take this down to 44, now for a virtual tabletop, this can be automated. It's automatic. But, you know, if you're doing a live session, time to pull out that phone and pull up that calculator, because that's how you're going to have to do it. So if I put 44 in there, you can see how all of this has changed. Now, if after these calculations, the character's life level hits 0, guess what? Yep, it's over. They're dead, kaput, gone, 6 feet under. It's time to make a new character. Poisons in Top Secret fall under one of 6 different broad types on the poison table. So let me pull that up for us. There we go. And so we have these 6 different types. So let's go through them real quick. We have the deliriant, inebriant, convulsionary, depressant, asthenic, and the irritant. Though in general the effects overlap, administrators should just choose the most prominent one for a particular poison and then just use whatever column that would be. So let's just go through these real quick, and I'm not talking about every one of these. I'm talking about over here, and just figure out what each of these represents. Now, the cost for dosages and antidotes need to be adjusted for inflation, unless you're running a campaign in 1980, which is when this game was created. In order to adjust for inflation, it's very easy. Go to the US inflation calculator. Now, they go from 1923 to 2003, and all you have to do is actually put in the amount here. So let's see what amount. Okay, let's just do Deliriant. That's the cheapest one, right? Let's do that one. So it's 410. So we put 410, which is what it was, and we have to put in 1980 because that's when this game was made. And so what would it be today if you're running like a modern campaign? $1,496.90, which really you should just round that up to $1,500 and then call it a day. And you can do that for each one or just as needed, really. So you see this down the line here because it looks like it's 10% of whatever. So once you figure this out, you can just take 10% of that, and that's what it's going to be for the antidote. Each dose is administered and calculated separately. A PC who wants to keep these things on tap, like somebody on the team who might be a medic, they have to prepare to the best of their ability with the resources that they have, because they do have a stipend where they have to pay for the stuff that they're going to take out into the field. Just the way the game works. All right, next here we're going to be taking a look at the second row, which is the time that it takes for the poison to take effect. As you can see here, they have it to where you can just kind of roll randomly for whatever die that you have. So you can roll a D20 here or a D10 percentile dice on this one. And if we go back and let's roll for Sarah. So if we go back here, so we have a 56 here. We pull up the poison table again, and let's say it was a convulsionary. Okay, so we're gonna roll 1d10 randomly to see how many minutes it takes to affect her. All right, 7 minutes it will take to affect her. You could do that way, or you could just pull a number arbitrarily. You could just say that it takes the full amount just to make it simple and go that way. However, if you decide to do that, then it means that the character will be able to operate normally until that full time has elapsed. Now, of course, that's the easy way to do it. But if you're more inclined to be more precise, since drugs affect people over time, you can have the poison gradually take effect on the character. Now, one way to do this would be to roll your percentages for each ability affected and then divide that by the amount of time it would take for it to have a full effect. Let me give you an example, going back to Sarah here and close this up. So she has 56, okay? And there's 7 minutes. Now, you might have to take this and break this down into turns. Now, if you remember, there are, I believe, 5 phases in a turn, and there's 12 turns in a minute. So you would have to take 7 times 12, which is 84. And then you would have to take 84 and divide it by 56. And it just so happens that that is 1.5. So that means that every 1.5 turns that it would slowly take effect. So you take off 1 point every 1.5 turns. Now, again, that's if you want to get that precise and you want to get that crunchy. You could do it to where you could just break it down by minutes or however you want to do it. That's just one way of doing it. But again, you're moving into crunchy territory there, and some people like that, some people don't. Now, down here, you're going to find the traits that are affected by the particular poison. As you can see, if we go under something like Deliriant here, poisons don't just affect one trait. They affect multiple. As a matter of fact, Convulsionary has the least, which is 2, And then we have the most, which it looks like it's 4. It's going to be anywhere from 2 to 4 traits that a poison will affect. I told you guys that it's dangerous. I told y'all. Okay, so let's go back to convulsionary here because it only has 2. It's going to make it a little bit simpler for us. But let's do that for Sarah because we've already done her. Let's go back to her. Where is she at? She's right here, right? Let me close this up and pull her up. Okay, so we've already done her coordination. She's at 44. But now we have to do another, which is her willpower. So we have to roll for a percentage for that. Let's go ahead and roll. 57%. Now here is where you have to make sure you don't mess up. It's going to be 57% of her willpower. So it's 57% of 78. 57% of 78 is, I figured it out, and it was like 44 point something. So I just rounded it up to 45. So that's going to leave her with 33 on the willpower. Now I want you to watch her life. Watch her life. Ooh, took that down to 9. Yeah, that's what I'm talking about, y'all. So, you know, you got to be careful there. You got to be careful. That is how that would work. And since she survived the whole thing, we can go on to after the whole incident of being poisoned by looking at how she would be treated so that she could heal. Treating someone affected by poison can be done in 2 ways. So you can have the antidote, of course, or getting them to a sufficient medical care facility, normally within about an hour. Now, there must be 1 antidote dosage administered per poison. Antidotes must be taken after a person is poisoned, or they could be taken 15 minutes before they are poisoned in order for it to take effect. So if you knew that you were going into a place where there was going to be some poison and you had the antidote, then you could just go right in there, administer it 15 minutes before, and then do your thing. Now, how much the antidote will recover is based on the roll of, guess what? Percentile dice. And if the antidote does not heal the full amount of the trait affected, and if the character survives, they will heal at a rate of 10 points per week to their affected traits. All right, so we know that Sarah just got hit with a convulsionary poison, but someone's on tap and has the antidote. So how this goes is that you roll percentile dice, and you can do it in one of 2 ways. You can roll percentile dice and then take that number and apply it to any and all traits that were affected, or you can roll for each trait. Now, since we're only doing Sarah, I'm going to go ahead and roll for each trait. Now, you have to make sure you do the math right. This is going to be of how much damage that they took. That is the percentage that you're working off of. So I'm working off of 56 here and 45 here. So those are the numbers that we're dealing with. So first, since I'm rolling for both, let's do her coordination and see how much of the 56 points she gets back. 33%. All right, I'm going to do some math real quick. So 33% of 56 equals about 19 points, rounded up. So she is going to go up to 63 on her coordination. Now let's see how much of the 45 points that she lost for the willpower, how much of that she heals. 95% of it. Oh, gotta love that. So let me do some math. So 95% of that 45 equals about 43. So she has 76 back on her willpower. She has a will to live, I'll tell you that. So now she's here, and the rest of her points is going to be healed by 10 points every week. So it looks like it's going to take her about a month to heal on that coordination, and it'll just take her a week to heal the rest of her willpower. Now, I'm not sure if you guys caught it, But let me pull up the table again. You see here at the bottom with courage? Yeah, it doesn't take away, it increases your courage if you have an inebriant. And you know how that works, right? I mean, people be getting stupid brave when they get inebriated. Like, for real, stupid brave. I thought that was funny. All right, well, if you got any value out of this video or entertained at all, or maybe you found out something that you didn't know before, then go ahead, do it, brother, a solid and just crush the like button. And also, if you want to stick around and maybe see, you know, what are some other things that this cat got going on, well, then you can hit the subscribe button and the notification bell. I'll come out with videos every Tuesday and Friday, God willing. So let's get to the question of the vid. So you're going on a mission and you know that you're going to be encountering some poisons, but you're not quite sure what. The intel is fuzzy. So you only have enough for 2 antidotes for 2 different types of poison. So out of the 6 that were listed, if you've only got a choice of 2, which 2 would you choose to take with you on the mission? Go ahead, let me know. Let's play this game together. All right, folks, I'm getting ready to get out of here. A brother's got to do is go puss.
So exit, stage left.
Hey, if you have a session this weekend, well, happy gaming, y'all. I hope it's an RPG Elite session because those are the best kind, nah I mean? And also, if you want to watch any of the other videos in this series, hit a B, and that'll be it for me. A brother has got to get on out of 5,000 G. Or would it be leets? Yeah, 5,000 leets. I'm outie. Peace.